Now, here's a great revenge story I think you guys will all enjoy about a guy who became a father at a very young age, 18 years old, when he and his girlfriend did something stupid, and as a result, well, they became parents. And from that moment forward, he did everything he could to be a good father, and she did everything she could to screw the whole thing up, and has made his life so unbelievably difficult and all that. But the thing is about someone like that, her life has been imploding, and he's taking great joy in it. And of course, he's being made out to be the villain here. And he, of course, is wondering if he's the big bad guy. And the way I see it, if somebody's doing you wrong, when they start to suffer at their own hand, just sit back and enjoy the show. But then again, that's me. Title: Am I the a-hole for taking joy in my ex-life becoming a bigger mess every few months? And I shout out to Nick for sending over this story. He says, I'm 28 years old. I started dating Kira, a 28-year-old female, in high school, and we had our son 10 years ago. And yes, I was very young. She cheated on me a year later, and she told me it was because I was boring, and she didn't want to live a dull family life, and she was too young to be just a mom and a girlfriend to someone forever. He was probably boring because this guy was doing whatever he could to take care of the baby. He had a job, anything, as opposed to taking the easy way out and having the procedure. But she still settled down with the guy she cheated on me with. Oh yeah, well, let's see how that works out. Well, she lost custody of her son 7 months after we broke up because the guy she cheated on me with then assaulted me, and she stood by him and moved him into her place with our son there. So she's with a scumbag, a criminal, and was willing to bail him out of jail, which left her with zero money. I was awarded full physical custody, and she has supervised visitation with our son. Hey, couldn't happen to a nicer girl. Silver lining is he got to have the kid. He gets to now have the kid. The guy she cheated with me served 3 months for doing that to me, and the rest was suspended for being a first-time offense. She had another kid with this guy and tried to win custody of our son back, but her ex got into more legal trouble, and she was told supervised visits was all she ever entitled to. So this lowlife, of course, she marries or gets together with, has a kid with, and now he's back in more trouble. Yeah, you don't feel bad for girls like this. Well, it pissed her off, and she called me a manipulative effing a-hole because there was no way her ex should be in trouble for attacking me when he was only angry that I was taking her from her son. Please, she no doubt manipulated him into attacking him. That was the BS excuse given from that point forward. That custody exchange day where my son was returned to me was a good reason to assault me and knock out 2 of my teeth and give me a concussion as well as bruises all over and damaging my ribs. Yeah, and you know she manipulated the guy into doing it. That guy belonged behind bars. A couple of years after that, Kira cheated on that guy, and he harmed her. I gotta watch what I say here. She left him and ended up homeless for a while, and then tried to get her son back. Really, she's gonna try to get him back while she's living on the street? But she was denied because she refused to disclose her address. After some digging, it was discovered she was living with 2 addicts who had records. CPS got involved with her and the other 2 kids, but due to a lack of anyone else willing to take them, she kept custody. What? Oh, hell no. I'm sure those kids can be put on foster care or something like that with someone like that. Really? She did get to see her son for 1 extra visit because she was no longer with the guy she cheated with. Well, she got into another relationship and seemed a little more stable and got some increased visits with our son. It wasn't unsupervised, but it was still more contact. But after a few months of stability, he left her homeless and he stole from her, and she was on the streets again and chose to live with another criminal. This time, it was someone who had a long list of violent offenses. So, guys, this is why you don't feel bad for people like this, because it's always the same thing. One mess after the other. People can make a mistake once in life, but when they repeatedly get themselves in the same situations with the same type of people over and over again, and especially when there's children involved, I have zero sympathy and I see no mercy. None. Not with kids. These are people that, well, if you snapped your fingers like Thanos and they disappeared into some fucking dust, that'd be pretty nice. But I don't have all 6 or 7 of those fucking stones for Thanos' big golden glove. Well, a month ago, she was arrested again for something related to her roommate, maybe boyfriend. and I was sure to document it with my attorney. We filed to have her visitation removed and reduced, and that was granted under the circumstances. I don't trust her with the kid. The kid shouldn't be exposed to her. Well, my ex is furious, and one of her friends, not related to all the shady stuff, but a friend from high school, told me I should feel bad for her and stop being petty and trying to push her out of my son's life. Tell this friend of hers to mind her own effing business. This friend told me I should be helping her and asked why I would when she was willing to put our son through that and stand by someone who assaulted his father. I smiled a few times because I really do enjoy seeing how much worse it can get after everything she did and stood by. I have no problem with this. I'd be smiling too. I mean, obviously, and he can show his new teeth because of that jerk-off that knocked him out. Well, her friend told me I was as bad as the abusive guy, and worse even because I was enjoying my ex's misery and self-destruction. Women and accountability. She then told me I should want better for my son. I do want better for my son by not having him with his a-hole mother. I told her the best thing that happened is her not being in my son's life because of her awful choices. Is she right about that? Am I the a-hole? No, dude, you're not all the a-hole. You're a bro. You're a hero. You easily could have taken the easy way out at 18 and had the procedure and your son would never be there, but you did the hard thing. And obviously she left you because you were probably being responsible. And you're taking care of your boy, and you got your butt kicked and teeth knocked out over the whole thing, and you're protecting him. So after everything she's put you through and endangered your son, remember, someone like this, anything could happen to your son if she was around him and those scumbags. And God forbid you're taking a little pleasure in watching her life implode. No, not my book, not in a lot of the guys watching this. But to a lot of people out there, of course, they're going to feel bad for some jackass like her. I don't, and I'm sure most guys watching this don't. But you're not the a-hole. But you're going to have to expect that. You're going to get that from people. And tell those people to mind their effing business. And if they don't mind their effing business, then you can get really nasty with your words. But you're saving your son's life, keeping him away from her. And sooner or later, in my opinion, she is going to start taking substances if she isn't already. And one day, she's not going to wake up again, and she'll be done. And by the way, I might add, is she sending you any money? Is she sending you any child support? I think not. And of course, the courts are going to go after her for that type of stuff. So no, you're not the a-hole. So there you go, guys. Your enemies eventually are going to screw up enough. You get to sit back and watch the show. And I say, enjoy every bit of it. And I know, the old thing from Jesus, love thy enemy and that type of thing. But, we're not perfect. So, sorry, JC, but I have to skip that lesson because people that are trying to do you harm and do your kids harm and all that, I ain't going to love them. Now, the comment section is full of a bunch of people giving him a hard time. Imagine that. And mostly are women. Imagine that. Which only goes to show about the whole thing about gals and accountability. So I'm going to read them to you. One guy says here, if you're generally enjoying this, then not cool. This affects your kid now and in the long run, and it's a very sad situation. You can do the right thing and protect your kid, but I don't see why it should bring you joy. It's all pretty effed up. And he responds, I see it two ways. One is that I don't have to worry about what she has my son around and his safety. The other is the fact that she hates me so much, defended my attacker, and even made excuses for so long afterwards. Even now she'll defend him for attacking me before she could appreciate the fact I only wanted to keep her son safe, so my attitude is fuck her now. Yeah. Next one. This is from a woman. And let me tell you, this is going to surprise you. And also, this chick, of course, has to have the last word. And I might add, never argue with a woman because they're going to throw emotion and BS in the situation. And, you ask a question like, you do a post like this on Reddit and ask you're the a-hole, you're going to get a lot of people commenting because that's just how it is. She says to him, you're the a-hole. I will never understand how people can have so little empathy and so much bitterness. I get protecting your son from her, but if you think she's an unfit parent to be around him. But there's no reason to take pleasure in her misfortune or to want some kind of revenge for her boyfriend beating you. He knocked two of his teeth out, banged up his ribs. There's a reason the court saw it that he was in jail for 3 months and all that. Obviously, it was a big deal. Come on here. Your friend is right that she needed help more than anything else. It's not like she personally knocked your teeth out. That was some guy. It was bad that she defended his actions, but she's not the one who made that choice for him. She just stood by him after the fact. Holy, she probably manipulated that bonehead to do it. We all know it. It's sad that women are held accountable for the actions of men, as if standing with him is bad as doing it. Well, her standing with him is bad, but I guarantee you she was definitely pushing his buttons. And we all know it. I know I'll get downvoted because everyone will feel that a woman sticking with a man is just as bad as a man doing bad things, or maybe even worse. Sexually bitter men think women somehow create criminals by choosing them, or somehow deserve their misfortune for choosing bad guys. If the guy's careless enough to commit crimes, he's probably also telling all sorts of lies to get girlfriends. Blame it all on the guys. I like how she says sexually bitter men, blah, blah, blah. Yes, women do deserve the bed they make by choosing criminals and those types. Women can pick out criminals in a room who some are really turned on by, not just bad boys, I'm talking criminals, as easily they can pick out nice guys. And they choose those guys because to them it seems they like the ultimate alpha male. Why do you think a lot of women write prisoners, you know? And these guys that do these awful things, they get garbage bags full of letters from women all over the fucking world. This goes to show you about that. And our guy here responds, she didn't personally do that to me, but she paid the bail for the person who did and defended him and claimed he did nothing wrong. She justified by saying that I took her son when he's our son and we had a custody order in place. I don't think she's responsible for what he did, but I think her actions are awful too. Wrong, dude. I guarantee she manipulated that guy. And the fact that our son was there when her ex attacked me and she still defended him, I didn't give a shit about that and what she told him. Now you'd think that'd be the end of this little debate, but of course that chick has to have the last word, and she says, and have some empathy and compassion, ? Like I said, remove your son if you think she's not a fit parent to be around. Not because you're bitter and want revenge. Stop taking pleasure in her misfortune. The question was, are you the a-hole for taking pleasure in misfortune? Yes, you are. It's messed up that everyone is enabling you. This is why you don't debate and argue with the trolls, especially about an issue like this, and you're going to get them. But anyhow, guys, in my opinion, he's not the a-hole. He's allowed to enjoy watching her implode. And personally, I think sooner or later, she's going to be with the wrong guy or taking the wrong substance, and just like Thanos, whoosh, she's done. And that's one less a-hole in the world. I know somebody watching this somewhere, either today when I publish this, maybe in a year or 2 years and they stumble upon this video, will take issue with that. Well, kiss my ass because I don't care. But people like that, they deserve what's coming to them. So good for this guy, and I think he's a great father, protecting his kid and being there for him when she just wanted to be a freaking jackass. And, you know, you make your bed and you lie in it, and that's exactly what's happening to her.